Hi, welcome to All About the Alternative. Sometimes when you have something you use around the house, normally you go to the store and you pick up something you need. Let's say you need some bubble bath. Today I'm going to do bubble bath, obviously, because you've seen the title. But you normally would just run out to the store, grab some bubble bath, and come back and put it into your bathtub and make your regular bubble bath. But I'm going to show you today, as an alternative, which is what I am, how to make your own. Stick with me. I'll be right back and we'll make some bubble bath together. Okay. No, you're not going to catch me in the bathtub. That's just, I don't need to do that because you know what bubble bath does. You know what it looks like in your bathtub and everything. But of course, if, you've run out of bubble bath and you've got some things on hand, you can actually make your own, make it customized for what you'd like and what you need at the time. So there are some little things you can do to make that happen. And I can do that right here while I'm in my studio here showing you how to do that. So there's a few things that you will need to make some bubble bath. Obviously, you'll need some liquid soap, of some kind of liquid soap. You can use any kind of liquid soap, whatever you've got on hand. Not dish soap, but liquid, your everyday soap that you'd use, perhaps even the soap that you use for hand soap, you can use that. So this one here I have on hand, which I'm going to be using here as well. If you want to make it moisturized, you can also add in a little bit of aloe gel. So you can add in a little bit of that. And you can also add in your coconut oil. So you've seen me use this coconut oil before, and that is something I've used quite a bit. This is actually from, no, I'm not sponsored, but it is from Amazon, and this one actually is for the price of it and how far it really goes is really amazing. So that's why I use this one on a regular basis. Just to be on the safe side, I will acknowledge to you as well, of course, I'm not an esthetician, I'm not a chemist of any kind, and that. These are just things that I have learned over time, and I'm sharing them with you. And so that's why, you can learn from these different ideas. I'm sure there are a lot of others out there. And if you've got any other suggestions you'd like to add to what I'm saying, you can always put that into the comments down below. So you can do that as well. So obviously for these things, you don't need a whole lot. Now normally when you have bubble bath and you're putting it into your bath, the typical idea is you have just basically the size of like a capful. And if you want to have a little bit made so you have a little bit on hand so you're not always mixing it up at the time when you go to have your bath, you can make it up into a bigger, larger bottle, make it the size you want, whatever is the bottle that you have on hand to make it in. Today I'm just going to use a dollar store little container like this just because I'm only trying to make a small amount to show you here on camera. Of course, for this purpose, you only just need a little bit. So we're just going to show just opening it up here, and we're just going to pour in a small amount, just enough to mix with. And so this is the amount that I have here. It's just a small amount. Actually, we'll put a little bit more in just because. But it doesn't really matter. You can do it by eyeful. You don't have to even measure of any kind. Basically to what you need for your bath. And then of course you can put in your coconut oil. It should just be a small amount, just enough, because obviously you're not making a whole lot, just enough of a little bit in there. Just drop it in from the end of your spoon, just to give it that little bit of moisturizing oil that goes in with bubble bath. So that's all you need there. And so that's all you need there. take a little stir stick, or you can use your spoon, and give that a stir. Just give that a little bit of a stir, just like that. So, just gives it a bit of a stir with your little stir sticks. And of course, I add in the aloe as well. Now, keeping in mind, of course, what I'm using here, one is green, one is orange, and one is white. When they are in your bathtub, they are actually, the color does not show up. They're just, it mixes here though. So you will see a color here, obviously, but in your bathtub you won't see any kind of color to it. Here's where I have to say though, I'm a big fan of mica powder, using it for a lot of other makeup and a lot of other things. I'm also a fan of using food coloring. You don't want to use that here. You don't want to wind up looking like a Smurf. You don't want to wind up looking like a Wicked Witch of the West or the Grinch. And you probably don't want to look like a Pumpkin Man or whatever this is. So keep that in mind. If you're looking to change the color of your skin, well, you know, you're going to come out of your bathtub probably looking like one of those, and can be kind of scary. So, yeah, you made up your little bit of your bubble bath, and you can put that under your bathtub just like that without any fragrance. We'll call this the blank. Okay, because this is basically what it is. So you have this here, and so there's all that. And this is probably enough here, actually probably for a couple of baths, not just the one, but you can put in however amount that you would normally use, obviously. As I mentioned before, I'm not an esthetician, I'm not I'm not a chemist of any kind, and I'm really, you know, I'm not a medical practitioner of any kind either, but some of these things are kind of helpful when you need them. So essential oils can be very helpful. Now I'm going to get more into essential oils on another video very soon. So this is just a couple of options that you can use for your bubble bath. And all it basically is taking that little bubble bath that you already made, and you can either put it in and you can mix it in and leave it in, or you can use what you've got here and add it in at the time when you want to use it. And in some cases, like if you have like some sinus issues, things like that, sometimes having something on hand that you can put into the water, you can sit in the water and you can just breathe it in. And some of these things, as they're probably more known as like old wives' tales kind of things, but you can put in some essential oils to help your sinuses and help you get over colds and things like that. No guarantees, of course, but this usually does help. So sometimes you can use a thing called camphor, which is usually found in your vapor rub, and or any of the other things that you breathe in. So you can put a little bit of that, not a lot, just a couple of drops of any of these. Actually, just put in a couple of drops. You can put in a little bit of eucalyptus, and that's just a little bit of that, or you can put in any kind of mint, so spearmint or peppermint, and you can put that in, and that will work for you as well. And just put it into the water, of course keeping in mind that, of course, whatever fragrance it is probably going to be absorbed on your body as well, so you may want to make sure that, of course, either you heavily wash that off and before you before you continue on for your day. Otherwise you're going to smell like you've just put a whole lot of vapor rub on. But it will work because it actually does help get into the sinuses and help you breathe properly and breathe naturally again. So usually that it usually does help for something like that. And the other thing you can do, of course, is a couple of other options. And especially with essential oils, you can have a lot of different fragrances and different ways that you might like to just have. And the other thing you can do is use another essential oil of other fragrances. So keeping in mind, you could also put in your own perfume that you prefer. Just put a few drops of your own perfume, and that will actually put into the water as well, and of course be very aromatic for whatever fragrance that you actually do like. But you can also use other essential oils which will do other things too. So of course there's other things that people do like using rose, you can use cherry blossom, you can use jasmine. One of the other ones you can use, of course, a lot of people prefer to use lavender is one of the ones that are very popular, and you can also use chamomile. And these two together or even apart will actually be very good for relaxing. They're very good to help with sleeping. So if you want to get relaxed just before you go to bed, using these are actually very helpful to help you with any issues you have with trying to sleep. So actually, that warm milk that you've been drinking, try a bath first. So, these things do help. Sorry about the clinking of the bottles, but yeah, they actually will help you out with many of these things. So if you use something like that, if you've used a different type, if you use something else that you've used as well, put that in the comments too, and you can help somebody else as well as we go along, and that always is very helpful. So if you can give me a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.